Part 3. Oh my god, this story keeps getting worse. This breakdancing dad, he paid his wife over $1 million right out the get on the divorce. Just, oh, I wanted to buy peace. I'm gonna give her this giant sum of money. Let's like not do this court battle thing. Let's not like drag the kids through this horrible, stressful thing. Let's just have a clean break. Whatever. And he's gonna go into more detail.
And everyone told me I was absolutely insane to agree to this. But I wanted Betsy to be a stay-at-home mom, as she had been. We agreed that that would be best for the kids. I wanted the kids to have a mom at home when they came home from school. So I didn't want Betsy to have to work while the kids were still young. And I wasn't worried about money. I was confident I could always make back the money. I grew up in Vermont and had kind of a hippie mindset. Money's never been my focus. I just do what I do and enough money just seems to roll in. What I did not count on was Betsy moving from Virginia to Illinois with the kids almost immediately. I couldn't move to Illinois immediately. She sold our house instantly, packed up the kids and left Virginia for Illinois, basically instantly.
Wow. Wow. So she purposely, oh my god. So she gets an enormous sum of money, uses that to move the children, thus forcing him to have to move, and totally destroying his ability to earn money. Because I assume that his business was like where they were living. Wow. What a...
Yikes! I also did not predict that Betsy would issue subpoenas to all my clients to find out if I might be hiding money and assets from her. In other words, even though I agreed to give her everything, she didn't believe it. She thought there was more money to be found. Money I was stashing away somewhere. Or some hidden sources of income that she didn't know about.
Yeah, dude, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, I feel so bad for this guy. Like you said, he's a hippie. He's never really... He wants to see the good in people. But you give somebody over $1 million, they're going to use that to screw you, dude. And that's what happened. So he left himself no money. Oh my god. So he paid the way for his wife to probably get multiple lawyers to get more money out of him. Oh my god. This is epic. This is like... They gotta make a movie about this. This is gross. This. Oh my god.
So she subpoenaed all of my clients. Her lawyers wanted to depose my clients. This caused me to lose most of my business. No client wants to be involved in a divorce legal proceeding or get deposed. So my clients ran for the tall grass fast. And by the way, she's doing this again. In the wake of this Maddie video flap, she's been phoning my clients again in hopes of torpedoing my current business. Just like she was able to do in 2000.
I knew it. This is blackmail. This is blackmail. Oh my god, I was right. This is so much worse. This is blackmail. They're blackmailing him. The mom and the daughters collectively are blackmailing him. Oh my god, people need to talk about this. This is huge. Oh my god, this changes the whole story. They are blackmailing this man. Holy crap. I mean, he's talking about it and it makes it real obvious, but I don't know if people will go this deep into this story. Because this story has pretty much died. Holy crap. She's still trying to... The kids are adults and she's still trying to get more money out of them. She's trying to... They're blackmailing him. They're trying to screw him out of more money. Like, they're trying to make it so he makes less money, but because they think that he'll pay them to stop it, to stop this whole thing. So then they could just get money. Oh my god, man. Wow. Holy crap. This is bad, man. You need to get a lawyer. Like, you seriously need to get a lawyer right now. Holy... I mean, this is titled... My conflict with my daughter, why I went to jail. You better have a lawyer at this point. And you gotta, I want you to make one more video where you go over why you got divorced. And so you can explain to your children that it was the mom's fault, most likely. Like, tell the truth. But holy crap. You are being blackmailed by your ex-wife and your two daughters. You need to call your son right away. You need to get that boy away from these horrible. They will poison your son mentally and emotionally, dude. Wow. This is so disgusting, man. People, oh my god. How are people this vile and cruel and evil and greedy? They've gotten millions of dollars from this man. They're the father of the children. A loving father who's gone out of his way to do everything right every step of the way. And be there for his children. Wow.
2004 and 2000.
America is broken. Broken country. Laws need to change that can protect this man and men like him. This is cruel. This is evil. This is demented. They are blackmailing this man. That's why the daughter posted all this stuff to begin with. They're blackmailing him. Holy crap. Oh my god. I'm blown away. I did not expect this when I clicked on this video. I expected his daughters just continued to be shitheads and he would tell some story about why he went to jail like decades ago.
2005. So Betsy moved instantly from Virginia to Illinois during the separation, before the divorce was even completed. And I would make the trip to Illinois about once a month or every 6 weeks to see the kids. And the plan was to do this until I was in a financial position to be able to move to Illinois. And of course I was broke at that point. I had just let Betsy have all of the marital assets. Well, 97%. Now remember that $1.8 million that she was due at the conclusion of the marriage in 2005? Well, I was $100,000 short. I'd agreed to give her an additional $100,000 on top of all of our marital assets. Well, I wasn't able to pay it because remember she had destroyed my business with all of her subpoenas. So she and her attorneys filed what is called a show cause petition with the court. A show cause petition. What is a show cause petition? Well, this means I must prove that I am not in contempt of court. And if I am in contempt of court, meaning if I don't pay the $100,000, I could go to jail for contempt of court. So I walked into court for this show cause hearing. I had no legal representation at that point because I was out of money.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's going to go to jail. He gave his wife just about 1.8 million, so 1.7 million. He was 100K short. And he's going to jail. He's going to jail for not paying. Wow. How is that a thing? How is this possible?
And couldn't pay lawyers anymore because Betsy had torpedoed my business with her subpoenas to all of my clients. This judge was a woman by the name of Judge Leslie Alden. I knew the instant that she looked at me that I was dead in the water. She had my tax returns and bank statements. It looked to her like I was making quite a bit of money. But that was before my clients went away due to all of Betsy's subpoenas that were arriving at their offices from Betsy's legal team.
What an evil piece of shit his ex-wife is such an evil person. Because obviously that would be the effect of subpoenaing all these people. Is they're going to be like, well, what's going on? Why is this guy, why are we getting subpoenaed? This guy's in legal trouble. Let's get out of business with this guy. Obviously that would be the result. So she's willing to destroy this guy to squeeze a couple more pennies after $1.8 million. Oh my god. Like, what is this woman's last name? His ex-wife, Betsy something? Can the internet do something about this? My god.
Judge Alden bellowed at me. When will you pay Mrs. Hart the $100,000 you owe her, Mr. Hart? She said from the bench. She sounded exactly like Judge Judy on TV. I answered, as soon as I can, Your Honor. I need to build my business back up. Judge Alden asked me again, when will you pay Mrs. Hart the $100,000 you owe her, Mr. Hart? I answered, well, as soon as I can, Your Honor. I need to build my business back up. She asked me one more time, Mr. Hart, When will you pay Mrs. Hart the $100,000 you owe her? I answered, I don't know what else to say except I'll pay her the money as soon as I can. Her next words were, Bailiff, remand Mr. Hart to the custody of the sheriff. Now, I didn't care much about money when I let Betsy have all her stuff, but I sure could have used $100,000 right then. Lesson. It's easy to sing Kumbaya, give peace a chance, and to say you don't care about money until you actually need money to stay out of jail. The next thing you know, I was sitting in a large holding cell in the Fairfax County, Virginia jail, with a large crowd of inmates waiting to be processed, to include MS-13 gang members and members of the notorious R Street gang in Washington, D.C. I was still dressed in my business suit when I entered the holding cell. This large holding cell contained about 40 other inmates. The jail door clanked behind me. An enormous 300-pound black guy called Big Daddy said to me, Hey, what are you in here for with that nice suit, red tie, and shiny shoes? Some kind of computer fraud, bank fraud or something? I said, Nah, I came up short on money I owe to my ex-wife. And I launched off into my story about what had just happened in court. Big Daddy, the 300-pound guy, called the other inmates over to hear the story. Big Daddy was clearly the dominant figure in the group. His voice was loud and booming. Plus, he was huge. So they all gathered round. Some of them looked like they were from the movie Menace to Society. Hey guys, come over here and listen to this, Big Daddy said. This story is great.
Big Daddy.
I was sitting on a cement bench next to Big Daddy. We were all there for a few hours, because life in jail is not a fast-moving process. And they seemed to like me. They were all laughing, including the guy with the Nazi swastika tattoo on his face. They couldn't believe I agreed to pay my ex $1.8 million, plus $12,000 per month.
Oh, yeah, they probably roasted this guy to all get, like, wow. Because it's crazy. It's dumb, right? And people who have street smarts, they're like, wow. That's exactly the worst thing you could do, sir.
And that I was still $100,000 short. Well, actually, I was more than $100,000 short. Judge Leslie Alden had also awarded Betsy attorney's fees plus interest. So the bill I owed her at this point was $148,000. The guy who looked like he was out of Menace to Society, he says, What the F did you give her all that money for and leave yourself with nothing? Then Big Daddy said, Here's what you need to do. As soon as you get access to a phone, you need to call your ex. And in your sweetest possible voice, you need to say, Dear, sweetie, honey, I can't pay you any money sitting in here. So let's make a deal.
I mean, it's true. It's true. That's great advice.
Then after a few hours in there, one of the guards calls out my name, and I exit the holding cell area with the guards. A guard put me in handcuffs and led me to the processing area. I was seated and handcuffed to a metal chair next to an officer who was inputting data into a computer. He pulled up my record. He looked at me and said, Wow, what did you say to this judge to get 1 year in jail?
A year?
Wait, what? I asked. I'm here for a year? What? Judge Alden had never said anything about this. All she had said was, Bailiff, remand Mr. Hart to the custody of the sheriff. And that was all she said. She never said anything about 1 year in jail. The officer read from the screen. Well, that's what it says here. You're getting 1 year in jail for contempt of court. It says you owe $148,000.
Plus, even the wife, even in her ridiculous greed, and people gotta stop letting themselves let lawyers talk you into being a greedy piece of crap. Because ultimately, in this woman's selfish greed, and this actually happens all the time with women, where society, other women who are complete morons, tell them, oh, talk to a lawyer. You're going to get all this. You're going to get all this money. You're owed all this money because you're a woman. So then these women talk to a lawyer. Now a lawyer tells them, oh yeah, I'll get you the world. I'll get you child support, alimony. I'll get you all this money. Don't worry, it'll be easy. And they do goofy stuff like this, which results in them getting less money. Right? Like, It's so dumb. Because she just destroyed this guy's business, thus destroying his ability to pay her money. He already paid her everything that he had. So this guy, this random guy in jail, is bang on. He's 100% right. He's saying play into her greed. But the thing is, you got to understand the lawyer's perspective. So her lawyer just wants to get paid. Just wants to get paid immediately, as quick as possible. And this is a way that that lawyer got paid as quick as possible. Right? They made a bunch of money real quick. Yeah, obviously it's better for the woman to have this bald man here have a successful business so she can keep leeching that child support off of him. Right? That's better for the evil, greedy ex-wife, just from a numbers standpoint. Right? Not this nickel timing, this subpoenaing, all this crap, right? Because that lawyer got paid a bigger paycheck a lot quicker, right? Which a lawyer's all about, because you can get rid of a lawyer at any point, right? A lawyer doesn't give a crap if you're getting that child support. They're out for themselves, so they're gonna try to get you to make the immediate, most initially greedy thing you can, because it's gonna get them paid faster. They don't care about you. So that's what happened here. Is this woman got duped? Because even if this guy can rebuild his business, it's going to take time. It's not going to be what it was. He's not going to have those loyal customers that he used to have, right? So she will never gain financially from this scenario, right? She's damaged her ex-husband's finances, and thus also her finances, and just flat out resources for the children, right? Like, if she didn't do this greedy shit, this man would be in a way better position. And thus the children eventually one day would inherit this enormous sum of money from this dad, right? But she's just trying to cripple him, trying to nickel dime him, squeeze him. She's just trying to wring every penny out of him in the immediate. And it has taken away stacks and stacks and stacks of cash in the long term. And that's how lawyers screw people over, because they feed into your dumb sense of entitlement and greed. And it's funny that these women who are entirely motivated by greed end up getting duped every time, end up making decisions that long term result in them having less money anyway. It's so dumb. It's comedic, and it happens almost every time with like every woman who does stuff like this.
$1,000 to your ex-wife.
And plus, like I said earlier in like part 2, child support, even in Canada. Like I said, a lawyer will tell you, oh yeah, you'll get all this child support. And society will tell you, oh yeah, you'll get all this child support. But it's a bad investment for women. Because like I said, they got to pay like 50 grand or more if they're a woman who makes even a dime, even minimum wage part-time. They don't qualify for a free lawyer. So they're going to have to pay $50,000 to then get money that wouldn't even cover a quarter of their bills. It's so stupid. It even within the sole motivation of just flat out greed, it's a terrible proposition. It would make more financial sense to just say, all right, ex-husband or whatever, let's do 50-50. You have the kid half the time, I have the kid half the time. Thus, we share the financial burden. We don't have this child support thing where the government's taking a cut of. We're not involved in each other's finances. We can both just thrive as individuals. Instead, when you do this child support thing, you actually push both people down. You're actually harming both of the parents financially. Because one has to send this money over where the government takes a cut of that money as it's being sent over. Then they have the parent paying has less financial freedom, thus able to take less financial risks, and thus less able to like grow to build wealth, which is obviously bad for the children. But then even the person receiving, they had to put like I know somebody personally, someone who I work with, who had a custody battle where they paid over $150,000 in their custody battle. They won, but they had to pay $150,000 to lawyers and for like mediation costs. Oh my God. So even the person receiving, you had to pay a giant sum of money just to receive a tiny speck of money, which doesn't even cover like a quarter of your bills. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even cover the costs associated with raising a child. So you're paying a giant sum of money, going through all the stress and effort of a custody battle, of getting the child support, just so you can then, on the long term, take on a bigger financial burden that child support will never put a big enough dent into to get you ahead. It only gets you behind. So what's happening is both parents are forced behind. These lawyers are forcing you to make it so both parents are have less wealth, have less money. It's putting you both in a worse position. And we need to wake up as a society and start seeing it for what it is. It's crooked, it's evil, it's so the court can make money off you, it's so lawyers can make money off you, and it's dumb. Even from a greedy standpoint, you want to exist as a greedy piece of crap like this guy's ex-wife, it's dumb. You got duped, you got screwed. You'd have more money if you didn't do it. You'd have a lot more money, you goofball.
How did you get $148,000 behind on your child support? Asked the officer. And I said, well, it's not really support. I paid my ex almost $1.7 million in assets that we had, which was pretty much all our assets, but I still owe her $148,000 to bring the total to $1.8 million in cash up front at the get-go. I also agreed to pay her $12,000 per month in support. So all in all, I'm $148,000 short in terms of immediate cash due. The officer looks at me. Why the hell did you agree to all that? He said. Who is the judge in this case? Asked the officer. I answered, Judge Leslie Alden. Oh, that explains it, says the cop. Yep, that judge, she really hates men. After the officer finished inputting my info and giving me an inmate.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. You got to be careful which judge you get. I've seen this, I've heard of this so many times that it must be real, where just certain judges, and lawyers will say it. Oh, this judge hates men. This judge prefers men. They have this bias. Maybe they don't like this race of people. It's crazy. Like, how is this a thing? How is this allowed? Where it's just like, oh, well, this one doesn't like black people, so you're done. You just lose. It's the whole system is so bad.
Number. I was taken in cuffs to an area and given an orange jumpsuit. I changed into that. The cops then took my business clothing, my watch, my phone, my wallet, and everything I had and put it all in a plastic bag for safekeeping, to be returned whenever I got out. I was then changed to 12 other inmates, and we were led to our cell block. My cellmate was a Cherokee Indian who said he had been convicted of 47 felonies.
It's pronounced Cherokee.
Most recently, attempted murder, but we got along fine. So it really looked like Judge Leslie Alden wanted to send me a message. This was no white-collar work release type program for non-violent offenders. She put me in the worst hole in Fairfax County, apparently for a year. And it was actually underground. There were no windows. There are about 1,800 inmates in the Fairfax County Jail. Evidently, the reason Judge Leslie Alden sentenced me only to 1 year there is that's the maximum amount of time that you can spend in county jail. Any longer, and they have to move you to a state prison facility.
That's the most you can spend in a county jail. So this guy gives his wife $1.7 million just to say, hey, let's not do this court thing. Like, let's not put us through it. Let's not put the kids through it. He does an act of charity, $1.7 million in like 2006. So like over $2 million today, easily. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. And he goes to jail for the most that you can go to jail for. For the longest amount of time you can go to this jail for. Wow. Yep, this Judge Leslie Alden, she does hate men, because that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Facility. So I was there for the max. And the way our cell block was set up is there was a common area that's linked to 6 cells where we slept. We were locked out of our sleeping cells all day, so we were all in the common area. So the 12 inmates in our cell block were all in the same small, all-cement common area all day. And we spent all day just shooting the bull. That's all there is to do in jail. There was one toilet and a shower out in the open, in plain view of everyone. And you get used to it after a while. And I got along fine with everyone, even though most were there on serious, violent felonies. And we spent a lot of time talking about how to get me out of there.
It sounds like it was a nice break from his horrible ex-wife. We'll cut this off there. This was part 3. This dude is getting blackmailed. His wife is a moron who got duped by a lawyer. We'll see how this shakes out. Right now he's in jail. Let's see what happens in part 4.